Dear Diary, it's Sunday night of week 2, March 2025, and this week I wrote a prog song that kinda sucks. Edited some gameplay footage to the thing I wrote to Genokids footage last week and re-recorded some parts for it. I set up my amps again while procrastination cleaning. Started and more or less finished a dynamic strategy RPG composition with 3 dynamic layers to gameplay footage of Rise Eterna-II, and also streamed the whole thing, which all was quite a bit out of my comfort zone of what I'm good at, and also additionally started 2 more pieces to that game footage, and wrote some melancholic, emo, alternative metal lyrics, which turned into a basic fleshed out chorus idea. Monday, listening to Between the Buried and Me while working out apparently seeped into my subconscious guitar writing brain, which resulted in a prog idea. It kinda sucks, but it might turn into something at some point. The transitions kinda suck, the chorus is kinda cool and big, but I don't think it really fits. But the piano part after that sounds kinda cool, though it's played bad for now. I'll fix that later. On Tuesday, I edited the gameplay footage to the thing I wrote inspired by Genokids last week, and re-recorded some bass parts that I programmed but forgot to actually play, and some parts of the solo lead guitar thing, which I really couldn't play while I was just jamming and trying to write whatever my fingers would do. On Wednesday, I was in a clean the flat procrastination mode, but I at least did end up setting up my amps again, because listening to the URM podcast episodes with Nolly and Ermin, I was motivated to go and record the real things again, because as cool as the digital stuff is with Kemper and all the plugins, it does get kind of boring, samey and stale. Thursday kinda sucked. I had the whole day to stream, to compose, kinda like I did last week with like the 10-hour-ish stream, but I just dreaded pressing go live. I was in ADHD waiting mode paralysis, just nervously sitting around doing nothing all day, instead of either just sitting down to work or just sitting down and actually chill and do nothing. Nope. It was just like the fear of the blank page, coming up with nothing, while the possibility of possibly millions of people watching me. I know, in reality it's like 3 or 4. But yeah, just looking like an idiot who knows nothing about his craft just had a grip on me. And then late at night, jamming some Fire Emblem music while trying to do some work on my mixing preset actually made me come up with a little melody, and finally my brain was like, might as well stream that, right? Yeah, well, that's what I've been trying to do all day. Yeah, alright, whatever. Let's do it now. So at least I got the basic idea down and like an hour of stream. On Friday, I can't really remember. Probably had to recharge from doing nothing all day before. Yeah, at least I went to go work out, and most likely I was just very much dead. And most likely fixed a few things for the composition in terms of structure and bad playing. But yeah, nothing much on Friday. And Saturday, well, was finally a nice change. I actually managed to get a few things done, and also get a personal best on the sled pull working out, which actually felt kind of good. Then took me way too long to get back to work, but reading something on social media actually for once sparked that idea, instead of just making me like want to quit everything. It was like multiple pictures all saying maybe in another life, with drawings of butterflies and cats, and in the end 2 humans lying in the grass next to each other. And I didn't read the caption, I think, but I interpreted it basically like 2 lovers that really wanted to make it work but couldn't, only to meet each other in a different form again and come to the same conclusion. I wrote something that is probably a chorus, each part of it starting with maybe in another life. Melancholic and scared, but in a way with like blissfully ignorant hope, kept vague on purpose, which is quite typical for my kind of lyrics. I kind of also want to write something from the other perspective of the whole thing as well at some point. We'll see. And for once, I actually had a melody to go with the lyrics soon after I wrote it, which usually doesn't happen for me. I turned it into a thing in Synthesizer V, which is basically one of the things I use now to make a more or less complete demo. Inputted the lyrics there, wrote the melody, and then after that it only took a few minutes to capture basic piano chords, bit of a bass jam, guitars and drums on top of that, so I have a listenable idea. And because I was kind of in the flow now, or pretty much at the tail end of it, I wanted to take the momentum and go right into working on the strategy RPG thing again, at least for a little bit, which I did end up doing on stream. And today, Sunday, I at least more or less finished the strategy RPG composition on stream and also started 2 more to the rest of the Rise Eterna-II footage. The first one being more of a, I guess, character selection thing with percussion, plucked string and harp, which was very unfinished and also didn't really fit the picture, but I guess it's an idea. And the second one was a little tremolo idea, which also isn't much yet, but I guess it's a vibe. I added some snare, cymbals and timpani and then ended stream because I needed food finally. It's been like 4 or 5 hours and I only had some nuts in me that came out wrong again. Never mind. But yeah, the stream was kind of good. Actually got quite a few more people showing up than I expected, which is cool. And the problem was I had constant problem with Cubase freezing and crashing, and I still don't know why, which sucked a lot and made me lose a lot of time unnecessarily. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, all in all, weird week, but at least progress, at least somewhat, I guess. Well, see you again next week if I don't lose interest in this and drop this. Only time will tell.